So hi, how's everybody doing? I checked my comments over the weekend on this channel, just kind of at random, and I knew it had been a while since I had posted. I didn't realize it had been a month since I posted last on this channel. I thought it'd been a couple of weeks, maybe, whatever, but no, it's been like over a month since the last time I posted on this channel, and then maybe the last 2 or 3 videos that I posted were all like me apologizing for having not posted in a while. And I've been getting a few comments on my main channel and on Twitter from people that are, asking, what the hell, what happened, and why haven't I posted anything? And I have no real excuse. I was sick. I guess the last time I posted, I was just kind of getting over being sick, so I was still kind of recovering for a while. And honestly, sometimes I just don't feel presentable. I have like writing days where all I'm doing, that's what today is actually, all I'm doing is writing all day long. I don't shoot anything. And I don't really, like right now I've got no product in my hair, so it's pretty dumb looking, but some days I just don't look presentable, and I don't feel like getting presentable to do this. Sometimes I just really don't have anything to say. And I've noticed something that sometimes when I have stuff that I would normally talk about here, they kind of wind up getting talked about on the podcast. The podcast, Our Ludicrous Future podcast that I do with Tim and Ben, we talk, these things are going on for an hour and a half now, and a lot of the stuff that I would normally cover in a video like this, I kind of wind up talking about there, so I don't want to be redundant. And then, so after I hadn't really posted in a while, I started to feel like, well, I got to do something big when I come back and let people know that I'm, and so I had different ideas for things that I wanted to talk about, and then I've just been really busy. So it's kind of this weird thing with this channel where it was supposed to be just I turn on my phone and just start talking, and it's just whatever. And then as the channel kind of grew and grew, it became sort of a, well, maybe I should put a little effort into this, which, by the way, is what I've always done. Early on in the main channel, it was the same kind of situation. I would put so much effort and time, and this is, by the way, this is true of every channel when they first get started. So any of you out there who want to start a YouTube channel or are kind of just starting one up right now, expect this. I would be putting more and more and more time into these videos, and I still wasn't getting any new views. Because the algorithm does not reward quality or time you spent making it, it rewards all this other stuff. So anyway, what I would do is I would be like, okay, I would get burnout and I would stop, and then a few months would go by, and then I would pick it up again. And every time that I picked it up again, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put something out there, and I'm not gonna put that much effort into it. I'm just gonna, efficiency, quantity over quality, whatever. And ultimately that, I guess, perfectionist in me would kick in, and I would be like, no, I've gotta make this good, and I've gotta, put some quality into it. Next thing you know, I'm spending all this time on it. And that was kind of what was starting to happen here. I started to feel like I needed to put more effort into these videos, but I've already got 2 videos a week coming out on the other channel, plus the podcast, plus everything else going on in my life and my side business. It was just kind of like, this just kind of kept slipping down further on the back burner until next thing you know, it's been a month. And what I'm going to spare you right now is an apology, because that's what I always do, is I go for a while and then I don't post anything, and then I come back and I'm sorry guys, I've been busy. I'm going to spare you that, because again, I looked back at my last few videos and it seems like all of them were just me apologizing for not posting more. And I'm not going to insult you by saying I'm going to do better in the future, because clearly that's not a guarantee. So what I'm just going to say is this channel is not dead. Let's just put it that way. Let's just start there. This channel is not dead. I keep getting people asking, why I'm not posting. or if the channel is dead, it's not dead. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with this channel. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it. I still like the idea of getting on here and just kind of like talking about stuff that's on my mind and talking about what's going on behind the scenes. And I think that's kind of what you guys want to see. That's the gist of what I'm hearing from any comments that I've gotten and whatnot. But I found that I'm not very good at turning my life into content. A lot of vloggers, you know, who kind of do that daily vlog thing, and they just record their life, and they just kind of go around and they, whatever it is they're doing, they videotape it, and then they edit it together and put it up. I've found I'm just not interested in it, I guess. I mean, that's the only way I can say it. I mean, like last weekend, or this last weekend, it's only Tuesday, my wife and I participated in a 5K here in Dallas. We have St. Patrick's Day Parade on Greenville. It's kind of like this big thing that happens every year. And they do St. Patrick's Day Fun Run, Dash Down Greenville is what they call it. And my wife and I, we've never run it, well, she's run a 5K before. I'd never actually run one before. Just never signed up and did it. And she's trying to get in shape, and this was kind of something we could do together. So, you know, I signed up to do it, and I'd never done it before. And it was a visual feast. There were people in costumes, there were people running in chicken outfits, and all kinds of, you know, tutus and stuff like that. And as I was there, in the back of my mind, there was this voice that was like, "Get out your phone, take some video. You need to be recording this. You need to do something with it." But I don't, I kind of want to just live my life sometimes, you know? and you know, I've known many YouTubers and the vloggers and whatnot. I've been to VidCon, I've been to all these different conventions and stuff, and I see these people, they walk around with their selfie sticks and their phones, and they're just documenting every moment of their lives. And that's great if that's what gives them meaning and if that's what they enjoy. And if they're able to build something out of that, awesome, good for them. And in honesty, I see a value to it in terms of kind of how you look at the world. If you're constantly looking for something interesting to share with people on your channel, even if it's just because that's how you're making money and you have to do it, I think that does kind of help rewire your brain to look for interesting stuff, to make your life more interesting, to do more interesting things, and look for beauty, look for beautiful things to share with people. I mean, maybe it's more of an Instagram thing, but you know, I see a value in that. Just from a psychological perspective, if you're looking for that stuff, you're going to see more of it, and the world is going to seem more interesting, and it's going to seem more beautiful. My dogs are now coming in here and getting into the action. You want to say hi, Jake? Jump up here. Oh, Zoe's gonna get jealous. Right down here. I would mess with the camera, but I don't feel like it. Screw it here. Here's Jake. Hello. Oh, the Jakers. There's my Jake. And those are my salmon-colored shorts. They're not as short as they look here. It's just the way I'm sitting. Anyway, hi. All that is to say, like, whenever I go on vacations, whenever I take trips, whenever I do events and stuff like that, there's this voice in the back of my head saying I should probably be documenting this and making content out of it, but there's a much bigger voice in my head that's like, no, live your damn life, and that eventually wins out. So I've thought many times about doing that kind of thing with this channel, doing like documenting my trips, and I mean, I've done that before when I went to ClamorCon last year. And, you know, talking about, like, my side business, Canker Boy. Had another problem with inventory. About this time last year, if you go back in the channel, I was struggling with getting my inventory in. Well, the same damn thing happened again. I did finally get it all in, which is what all this is right here. That's a giant stack of Canker Boy bottles right there, going up the side of the thing. But, so anyway, I've thought about maybe even eventually, I like the idea that the main channel becomes kind of a machine, and I've got a whole team around it of editors and writers, and you know, I kind of pick the topics and I put my own spin on it, and I put the jokes together, and I've got this whole, you know, almost like a Saturday Night Live writer's room where we could get around and we could, you know, not just make up the videos, but also sketches and do all that on the main channel, and then this channel could become more of a just fun me doing like even editing and vlogging kind of thing. Kind of like what the main channel used to be. I kind of miss that sometimes. I miss just making fun videos, you know? They're all like on these specific topics now and whatnot. So I thought about all that. And I thought about making this sort of a confessional booth. One thing that I did want to talk about, and I thought about this being the thing that I came back with, was I wanted to break down a CNBC article. As many of you know, especially who follow me on Twitter, I'm constantly complaining about CNBC and their garbage coverage of anything electric cars or Tesla, especially Tesla, or anything Elon Musk for that matter. They just have it out for him. I am not somebody who thinks that Elon is above criticism. I actually have a lot of issues with what the way Tesla's been handling themselves lately. But CNBC is just ridiculous. They're just over the top, just ridiculous. Anyway, there was this one article after the $35,000 Model 3 was released. There was an article that CNBC put out that I really wanted to do like on my computer, like a regular video with screen capture and all that kind of stuff, to kind of break down this article and show just how garbage it is. Specifically for the fact that they quote 3 analysts. Okay, first of all, again, I'm going to go on a little mini rant here. I'm already 12 minutes into this thing, but Tesla releases a $35,000 Model 3. This is something they said they were going to do from day one, and they've been criticized on all these places, especially CNBC, all this time for not having put out the $35,000 model. They said they can't do it, that they're going to lose money on it. You know, on the worst end of the spectrum was that the company was lying and defrauding customers and investors and everything by not releasing this $35,000 model. So they finally do, and guess what? They come out the next day with an article saying that they're going to lose money on every car, they're going to go bankrupt, Wall Street and the investors are freaking out, and they're, you know, jumping ship, and it's somehow it's bad news. This thing that they've been criticizing Tesla for all this time not doing, now that they've finally done it, it's still bad news. Just no matter what it is, it's bad news. No matter, you know, they have record-breaking profitable quarters, still bad news somehow. It's CNBC, it's amazing. But the thing that pissed me off the most was they quoted 3 different analysts. And these analysts all have, you know, like hedge funds and mutual funds. They all have funding groups, and they're all short Tesla. Quick thing on what that means, it simply means that if Tesla's stock goes down, they make money. So here, it's a short and distort scheme is what it's called. They short the stock, and then they go on CNBC and all these things, and they talk really bad about the company and doom and gloom, and they're going to go bankrupt and all this stuff in an effort to drive down the stock. Why? Because they make money doing that. And you know what? Fine, if you want to do that. Like if CNBC or any news organization was fair in any way, they would have these, you know, shorts on there, but then also have somebody on that is positive on the stock to kind of counterbalance, give both sides of the thing. That's supposed to be what news does. But they didn't have the counterbalance on there on this, and they didn't reveal that these guys were short Tesla and had a monetary incentive to say what they said. Like, that goes against all journalistic ethics. Like, that just... You couldn't get through journalism school doing that. At any journalism school. University of Phoenix journalism school, you wouldn't be able to graduate if you were writing crap like that. And here is like this national big news organization just breaking every rule, showing no journalistic integrity whatsoever. It was just beyond the pale. And I really wanted to like take it and break it all down. Clearly I've already gone ahead and ranted about it, but yeah, so that was something I was gonna do. I guess I just kind of did it. But yeah, anyway, so another thing that I was gonna talk about, I think I mentioned it a little bit on on the podcast. Again, I kind of wind up talking on the podcast about these things. But I watched the HBO series John Adams, kind of at random, and it really impressed me, and it really... there were some things about it that I found really interesting, because, John Adams lived to be 90 years old. And you could say at a time when people didn't usually live that long, but that's not really the point. The point is, in a lot of these kinds of movies, there's always this like tragedy. And of course, a lot of people died in this series over time for different reasons, medical reasons and whatnot. There was a brutal scene where his daughter had breast cancer and had to have surgery, and they didn't have anesthesia back then. So it was literally they tied her hands and feet to bedposts, put a stick in her mouth, had her drink a little whiskey, and just started cutting her boob off. It was brutal, but it really brought home the reality of how things were back then and how lucky we are now. But he lived to be 90 years old, and the final episode of that series was just a really interesting treatise on aging and the passage of time, and how, even if we're lucky and we survive into old age, what it's like to be at that age and to look back, and especially if you had some important place in history, which he did. It shows him looking at the painting that was done of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It's a big famous painting we've all seen. I guess it was done in like 1830 or something like that, and he was like super old at that point. And he was the only person in that painting that was still alive, him and Thomas Jefferson. Which, another weird thing, he and Thomas Jefferson both died on July 4th, 50 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, at the exact same time. Very weird. But anyway, he's looking at this painting, and he's just like, that's not at all what this looked like. And he gets mad about it. And he was like, we were at war at the time. People just kind of came in and signed it whenever they signed it. At no point were we all standing in that room together. And he was kind of a curmudgeonly man his entire life. So, of course, when he was older, he was even more curmudgeonly. But it was that whole sort of poetic treatise on, I'm not picking the right words here, but this look at aging that you just don't normally see that often, that I found really interesting. And I don't know, I wanted to talk about that at some point along the way. But yeah, I just thought I would pop in here and speak up and let everybody know everything's cool. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with this channel. I'm not going to make any promises. Just know that it's not going anywhere, and I will do what I can do, and we'll play around, and we'll figure out a format, and maybe something I've found is that I can only handle like 1 or 2 social media accounts at a time. I haven't posted on Instagram in forever either. For a while, I was just posting the thumbnails of my videos, and then I started kind of getting annoyed at that, because it's like I was looking through my feed. It's like, they're all just thumbnails for my videos. I'm not posting anything else. And so then it kind of got to where it was like, well, I got to stop posting videos and post something else. And then I stopped posting, sorry, not videos, thumbnails. So my thing was, stop posting thumbnails so much, post other things. And then I stopped posting the thumbnails, and I never I never posted the other things. So it's sitting there kind of, fallow itself right now. I'm kind of more active on Twitter these days, although there's a lot of things about Twitter I don't like, but I'm barely on Facebook anymore. So what I'm saying is, like, I can only handle a couple of things at a time, apparently, and there's always going to be something I'm focused mostly on, and when I'm focused mostly on that, other things are just going to kind of fall to the wayside a little bit, which is kind of what happened here. But anyway, so overarching message, 20 minutes into this thing, the channel is not dead. Bear with me, and I appreciate you guys being patient, and I appreciate the notes that I've been getting from people saying, where are you? If you have any ideas of stuff you would like to see on here, I'm open to it. But in the meantime, yeah, I'll pop in when I got something to say and I got a free minute to say it. That's basically what it comes down to. And I'm just going to basically take the pressure off of myself in terms of this channel, because I think that's something that I do, getting a little bit into my psychology here, but like when when I feel a lot of pressure on something that is not the most important thing, I mean, this channel is never going to be more important than my other channel. It's just not. I tend to just kind of like let it go away. You know, it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't need this pressure right now. I've got this other pressure to deal with, so that can just kind of scooch along. So that's kind of what started happening here. I started feeling pressure that I need to be posting on this channel. And I think I'm just gonna like let myself not have that pressure anymore. And just when I feel like saying something and getting in here and talking, I will. Otherwise, I've got 2 videos a week coming out on the other channel and a podcast and plenty of other places where you can hear my lovely voice. Yeah. So I'll leave it at that. I went on for a little while, but I haven't been on this channel for a while, so I had a lot to catch up on. Hope you guys are all doing well. And yeah, that's how you end a video. I'll catch you guys later.